Welcome to VIP Kid Mornings with Melissa. Hello. We are talking today with Dr. Julie Connor from Overland Park, Kansas. We are glad to have you today, Julie.
It is wonderful to be here. Thank you so much, Melissa, for inviting me to be part of this conversation.
Oh, yes, I have been excited to speak with you. I've been part of Facebook pages with you for a little over a year, I think. And so I wanted to talk to you about how you started with VIP Kid. When did you apply? Why did you decide to apply? Would you share your story?
I think my story is an example of the power of social connection across the what we know as the internet highway. I am a TED speaker. I speak to youth and adults throughout the country about how to have tough conversations about tough topics like mental illness or bullying, setting boundaries, communication, conflict resolution, those kinds of things, suicide prevention. And my busiest time of year is throughout the school year from September to May. And so as the summer months start to kick in, I was curious about opportunities that I could find that were filler that I could do for a few months that would bring in some extra income and just be a new experience. So I turned to the internet and then I started watching YouTube videos. And that's when I came across Jennifer Anderson, VIP Kid, brand ambassador
Yeah.
extraordinaire, who eventually became my mentor, my referral mentor. And as I started to watch all of the videos, it really started to develop a deep impact on me very quickly. I realized, as an educator with almost 40 years of instructional experience, pre K through graduate students, that we talk often of collaboration and teamwork and innovation, cooperative learning, but many classrooms are still operating out of a lecture model. Not all, there's all kinds of delightful, wonderful things happen in education. But I knew something with VIP Kid was different. And I think the pivot point was for me was the relational aspect because I believe this relationship of one child, one teacher, one lesson, one relationship will transform education as we know it. And we get to be on the ground floor of that.
Oh, yes, we do. And it is, I think it does change education for that child, especially because for 25 minutes, that's what we're doing. We're helping that child learn English, and
Right.
we're a part of that child's education. And one unique thing that I have found, teaching in America, teaching in classrooms, teaching in homeschool co-ops, and then teaching with VIP Kid is that we form relationships with our students and their families. I've been invited to China to have dinner with I don't know how many families, and I'm going in October, and they are
Oh, how
generally
exciting.
excited. Yeah, I'm excited about that too. But they're generally excited about me coming over there, being able to actually meet me in person as their teacher. And I don't think that I felt that in any other teaching job that I've ever held. I
I agree. I agree. And I have been really fortunate in my experiences. I've taught in urban, I've taught in suburban, I've taught in rural schools, I've taught in parochial settings, in private settings, and in public schools. And I believe that this relational piece of meeting kids where they're at and having open conversations with them. You said something about the homeschool model, and I think homeschooling teachers are a critical piece of this because they get um, the relational aspect of this. and how important it is to meet a child's needs, and how important it is for us to differentiate instruction, meaning how important it is that if a child isn't getting it, what can we do to tweak or adjust instruction so that a child's interest sparks and you can see the light bulb goes on that lets us know and lets the child know too that they've got it.
Yes, that's right. And I mean, I think that is what is special about VIP Kid. And I think whenever I talk about it to anyone else, that's what I stress. Is how we are able to customize this education, one student at a time, 25
Right.
minutes at a time, every morning for me. I teach in the mornings.
I
Um,
have never had a student ever once at the beginning of class ask me, Dr. Connor, what can I do to get an A in this class? Just let me know what I need to
mhm,
do. And so it's fun. We begin right off the bat at the beginning of every VIP Kid lesson with, "Hi, how are you? How was your day?" And those kinds of relational kinds of skills that invite conversation.
yes. So, conversation is important to you. I see that with your posts on social media, with your TED Talks that I have watched, and even just hearing you talk about, working in the mental health field. So, I was wondering, we've talked about the students. So, let's talk about the teacher community now. What do you see yourself bringing to the teacher community at VIP Kids?
I believe that the gift that I bring to VIP Kid is the gift that I bring into the relationships that I share with others, be they teachers or the people that I meet along the way with my audiences throughout the country, even in my home relationships. My VIP Kid relationships is I recognize the value of listening, of asking good questions. My doctorate, I'm very upfront and clear about. Although I am a mental health advocate, my doctorate is in education. And so, what I do as an educator is point the direction. I see myself as a way shower of, and I've always been that, whether it be mental health or best practice in education, what will help a student teacher experience success, where are the resources that are needed to experience success and to be able to do what you want to do. When I joined VIP Kid, one of the things that is can be a jarring experience is that it you are alone. It is the child and you at a computer somewhere, whether it's a classroom, in a basement or a closet or upstairs or whatever that looks like. It can be an isolating experience. And so to find the Facebook communities very quickly, such as um, uh, the VIP Kid education official page or the VIP Kid online teachers lounge. When I found those communities, I started to build the connections that kept me from being isolated. But as I've advocated for mental health, I have an intuitive sense that I could hear lots of different teachers in their posts from many different experiences, but I could also hear the isolation. And I read posts that hinted at feeling alone or feeling anxious or wishing to connect or wanting to know where mental health resources are. There are a large number of teachers, and I don't know. The statistics are 1 in 10 people are struggling with some form of mental health issue. And so it's not surprising that it's in education as well. But that doesn't mean we can't be outstanding instructors because there's wonderful tools and resources that are available. So
Right.
as I read these posts, um, hearing different reasons why teachers were no longer in brick and mortar classrooms or why they chose VIP Kid as an alternative, I started to hear perhaps there is a place for teachers to share their hearts, to be able to share their stories. Um, that isn't necessarily VIP kid education curriculum oriented. You know, where can we build relationships with one
Hmm.
another and keep positive and optimistic and encourage one another? That was why I created the VIP Kid Mental Health and Wellness Facebook group. And members, that the group started to grow very quickly. We're over 500 members now, and I look to that to continue to grow as people find opportunities to connect with one another. I believe that as we build connections and celebrate one another, that we become better teachers, we become happier people.
Right. I think that's true. I tell people all the time, that the community has grown. And even just the connections within the VIP Kit community has grown. The 2 years that I've been here, I have seen it just grow tremendously online. So Facebook, social media, Instagram, Twitter, all included. But it has also grown outside of social media. And
Right.
so we can have these meetups, and teachers can host things in their communities and invite other teachers. And I always encourage people to go to those real life meetup as well. I
Yes.
I teach in a closet. It's like 4 by 4 feet. It's like a walk-in closet,
But it's
but
creative and colorful and cute and oh, it's awesome.
it is. It's my little home, my little office. But, I always joke with people and I say it is good for me to get out of my closet and go and meet other teacher colleagues, do fun things like paint dino and eat, just eat good food at a restaurant. A couple months ago, we had an escape room meetup here in Georgia, and that was a lot of fun, and it didn't really have anything to do with the curriculum, like you said, or it didn't have anything to do with working, for VIP kids specifically. It was just a way to enjoy and get out and meet other people and just have a mental break. And I think that's important.
That's critical if we want to be uh, connecting with kids on a platform that is so relational. I believe, and I certainly know from my own teaching experiences, that the more isolated I become, certainly the more it is not hard for me, and I'm sure for most VIP kids generally, to go into overdrive very quickly and spend hours preparing for instruction and to deliver quality experiences. But we need to find balance, because when we are so focused on developing instructional tools, the tool becomes the focus and not the student. And so, as we take care of ourselves and take good care of ourselves, we are more effective teachers and more relationship building as we provide quality instruction. But there is a balance, and I believe we find that balance in connection with one another.
Yes, right. And building those relationships not only with the students, but with other VIP kid teachers, that sort of understand our lifestyle. We're getting up
Yes.
before the sun gets up, to travel to China every day. And we need to talk to
Yes.
people who understand that, right?
Right, right. And not many do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're a very special group, so we need to stick together, I think. Uh, but you talked about balance a little bit, and so and balance is important to mental health in every area of our lives, but specifically with VIP Kid, you are in control of your own schedule. Teachers
right.
can open up, classes that are available. They can open all of them up on that booking page for a week if they want to. But it is important for teachers to find what they can do for their health, for their physical health, but also for their mental health. Like for me, for instance, I know I could not teach, 10 classes in the morning and then 10 classes every night and still be taking care of myself. And it took me a while to find that balance, to sort of make myself stop. Just because I could open more classes and I could make more money, teaching morning and night, I had to decide that, hey, I'm important here too. Um, and so
Absolutely.
I was wondering if you could just elaborate on that a little bit more. It's just sort of the tendency to want to do more than might be best for our physical and mental health as a teacher.
I believe that if we are not taking good care of our physical selves and our emotional selves, that our instructional uh, delivery will be seriously impacted without adequate sleep and exercise and water and diet. It impacts the brain. There is a large body of research that supports that lack of sleep, in particular, impacts memory. It impacts tracking skills. And so it becomes hugely difficult to deliver quality instruction if we can't track our own thoughts or if we're struggling with memory or even struggling to stay awake. For those of us that teach the morning crew, and this I believe was the most difficult part of getting adjusted to a VIP kid schedule is I wake up at 3:30 in the morning to start teaching at 4 a.m. and I teach from 4 a.m. till 9 a.m. I have many requests to teach evening classes. And because, like you said, of my own mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health, I am a better teacher when I limit my hours to those morning hours. Um, when I pick a lane, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
I do one or do the other. Now, granted, there are teachers that teach 10 classes in the morning, 10 at night for a variety of reasons, and none of those reasons are wrong. What I think you and I are talking about is where is the individual balance that fits ourselves and our
Right.
lifestyle, and that's the thing that we trigger. I'm struggling right now with finding where do I build in a day off. I started on Mondays, and then it seemed like the next day, all of my Monday slots, there were requests to be filled, and Mondays to this day are my busiest days. So it doesn't happen overnight. It demands that we be easy on ourselves and and experiment with our schedule. And I believe that a sleep schedule develops quite organically, like our classrooms and our organizational styles. We have to tweak it, and we figure out the answers that work best for us by experimenting.
Right. And like you said, it's not going to be the same for every teacher
No,
because there are some teachers who can teach, 25 classes in a day, um, and they're just fine, you know.
more power to them. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. They're out there doing it. I
Yeah.
can't, but
Yeah.
I sure admire that they can.
Yeah. And I think, they can and they have been able to find that balance in their life. So when we're talking about finding the right balance for your physical health and your mental health, uh, we that's not going to look the same for everybody. It's
Right.
going to look different. And I do think that's important to note. Everyone has different needs. Everyone is able to handle different amounts of, I guess, hours sitting at their VIPKid desk. So, but you do want to keep that in mind. I want everyone to keep that in mind that um, you're here with the online teachers lounge and then the mental health and wellness Facebook group to help people figure this out. So, what kind of post do you see most often on the mental health and wellness group?
I see people reaching out. The number one thing that I find people doing is they want to connect one another. So daily, I post things that are questions, that are conversation starters, and tell us why you became a VIPKid starter, or pick an emoji that best expresses your personality, those kinds of things, so that we
Mhm.
can build fun relationships with one another. And it makes those fun questions actually invite trust and start the creation of somebody finding a safe place. There are also people that are struggling. One of the biggest mental health issues that I see, and of course it's not everyone, but are people that are expressing um, anxiety before teaching. What do I do if my heart starts racing or I feel like I'm going to panic? The
Mhm.
lovely thing about the VIPKid Mental Health and Wellness Group is that there are either people that have struggled with it are struggling with it, know someone struggling with it, or have struggled with it in the past and have something to offer to those who are still struggling. When I was diagnosed with major depression and a severe panic disorder known as agoraphobia, it was worst case scenario. I was afraid to leave my home, and it was at a time where many doctors called it hypochondria. And so, just fit under that umbrella. And doctors even introduced me to other patients by saying, "This is Julie, and she's our hypochondriac." It wouldn't be until several years later that I would get to the right place at the right time when I was ready with people that I could trust. But what happened that's so wonderful about that is that became what was my worst experience, became part of my life's work of inspiring others that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we are here to support one another.
Yes. So it is a safe place for people to come, for those relationships, but also for them to express, feelings of anxiety,
Right.
feelings of depression, or
Yes.
panicky feelings, but not just related to VIP Kid.
Right. And it can also be related to their own lives as well. There's been conversations about bullying. There's been conversations about managing conflict and how to respond in different situations. I think that's something where the mental health and wellness group has been particularly meaningful, is if a child, for example, uh, burst out in anger, how to respond. And there's seasoned teachers that can step in and say, "This is how I've dealt with it." And that's where I believe support and support groups are at their most effective. Not me telling you, but when we share from our own experience, when we share our own experience, strength, and hope, this is what I did. And in that way, people can decide for themselves what tools work best for them. And I would like to mention that on the announcement, as soon as people land on the VIP Kid Mental Health and Wellness Facebook group, there is a description about the group. And this is not a place for counseling. It's not a place for medication. It is a place for support and resources. And I have links, for example, to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, the text helpline. There are some, if somebody is in a crisis situation, those links and that information is available on the very first post as soon as they land on the mental VIP Kid Mental Health and Wellness Facebook group page.
Oh, that's great. So I'm going to link that in the description of this podcast. I am going to link the mental health and wellness Facebook group, the VIP Kid Online Teachers Lounge, and your website. Just so people, if they want to connect with you more, they'll be able to find you
Oh,
in
wonderful.
any of those ways. But I do think that one of your best attributes, I guess I would say, is team building, making everyone feel like they're a team, like we're working together for a
Oh, thank you.
goal. And so recently you were made the team leader for Team Green.
I am. Go green.
So this is the paint bucket challenge with VIP Kid, an incentive for opening those peak time slots in the morning here in America. So, how is your team doing? How's your Team Green page going?
You mean are you speaking of the Facebook group page?
Yes.
Yes, we are small at the time, and I'm delighted about that because it gives us, once again, at my heart, I am a collaborative beast. I love building relationships and giving opportunities for others to build the relationships. I approach just about everything, whether it's the Paint Bucket Cup Challenge Green group or the Facebook group or at my own speaking engagements. I approach it all the same way. I set the table, I invite the guests, I get out of the way. And so I see that Green Group Facebook page as an opportunity for teachers not only to be inspired to open slots but even more so, how can we be the best possible teachers? How can we build strong relationships and teach one another? And ironically, and beautifully, I think. I'm seeing the same questions come up in Team Green, the Facebook group, as I'm seeing that arise in other VIP Kid teacher groups, where young teachers are asking, "How do I get more bookings?" And seasoned teachers are responding, or other teachers are talking about various issues, and that makes my soul sing. That makes me so happy to see teachers engaged with one another and sharing and building relationships with one another. For me, that is the hallmark of a successful group. We may be small, but we are mighty, and it's because of the relationships that we build with one another.
Yes. Well, I think that anyone would benefit from being on a team with you. So I'm just going to put a little plug in. If you're looking for a team for the Paint Bucket Cup Challenge for September, join Team Green with Dr. Julie Connor. So just to end today, I was wondering if you could give any advice or if you had anything you would tell someone who was thinking about applying for VIP Kid.
Oh my goodness. One of the things that I would suggest is get online, check out the YouTube videos. Um, I and when see what's going on out there. And I think you'll become by watching the VIP Kid videos that are out there. I have a YouTube channel as well. I'm growing mine, but there's other seasoned VIP Kid teachers such as uh, Jennifer Anderson and Melissa. Do you have one? Do you have a
I don't have a YouTube channel. No.
okay? But you have a Facebook page.
I do have a Facebook page. I VIP Kid Friends. It's a very small Facebook page, but we feel like a family. We call each other a family and just support and answer questions.
Oh, see, you got it. That's it. But I would also encourage people too that when you decide, this is something I think I would like to pursue, go to VIP Kid and just enter your username and create an account. If you need a referral, my name, I would be happy to help anyone through the hiring process. I'm Julie O530. That is my referral code. Melissa, feel free to share yours as well, uh, because I think it's not so important that one person finds one person to promote. I think what's important is somebody gets connected with people that are right for them. And then once you get in, explore, watch the videos. Um, uh, Learn as much as you can. And the delightful thing about VIP Kid is there is lots of support along the way. It's a baptism by water process. I mean, or baptism by fire process where it moves quickly from the hiring to the mock interview to the teaching phase. But give it your best, give it your all, get connected. That's the number one thing I can recommend. Get connected with others.
Mhm. Yes, this is a great community. We are here to help. You asked a question on any of those forums that you just mentioned, and somebody is going to jump in. Somebody is going to help you because this is just a wonderful community, just wherever you turn. And yeah, I will link your code and my code and all of
Good.
our Facebook pages that we have mentioned in this podcast. So if somebody is listening that is thinking about VIP Kid, they'll have several links to click on to get some more information, from us, but also from other teachers within the community. Well, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today. And I wish Team Green all the best of luck in the Paint Bucket Cup.
Oh, I'm excited. Thank you. And one thing I'd like to add is if you are a VIP Kid teacher looking for a group with which to belong, a paint bucket team challenge cup team, pick the one that works best for you, which has goals that align with you. They're all great colors. VIP Kid is a rainbow, so you can't go wrong with
Mhm.
whatever team you join. We're all colors of the same rainbow.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I love that. That's perfect. We are all colors of the same rainbow. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Julie, and we
Yay!
will talk to you again soon.
I hope so. Thank you, Melissa. Goodbye. Goodbye,
Bye.
everyone.